Hello, hello friends. Welcome in this ninth lecture of BSc 5 Physics paper 503 Molecular Spectra. તો અત્યાર સુધી આપણે સાયલન્ટ ફ્યુચર ઓફ ધી વાઇબ્રેશનલ સ્પેક્ટ્રા એ ટોપિક કમ્પ્લીટ કર્યો છે અને આપણે એમાં એમ કીધું કે વાઇબ્રેશનલ સ્પેક્ટ્રા કન્સિસ્ટ ઓફ એ fundamental intense fundamental band accompanied with a weak overtones or the weak bands. Now we want to prove this spectra theoretically. For that, consider a molecule as a simple harmonic oscillator. There are different type of vibrations we had seen in last animation, that there is a stretching of the molecule along the axis, internuclear axis, symmetric vibration. So here the simple case of vibration is the simple harmonic oscillator. So let us consider the molecule as a we want to prove this spectra theoretically. So consider heteronuclear diatomic molecule like HCl as shown in the figure. So in the figure, H is the small atom having the mass m1, chlorine atom having the mass m2, and Re is the equilibrium position, and small r is the internuclear distance between them. So we are considering here this molecule is vibrating along the x-axis. So consider Cl is a stationary and H is vibrating because of the absorption of the infrared radiation. So this type of molecule have changing dipole moment which absorb a incident infrared radiation and vibrate along x-axis or along the internuclear axis. The simplest possible assumptions about the form of vibration is to treat the molecule as a harmonic oscillator. So we consider here the molecule is a simple harmonic oscillator. So diatomic molecule just behave as a simple spring which obeys the Hooke's law. So we know that Hooke's law, according to Hooke's law, affects the force for vibration is proportional to minus x along the x-axis. So x is equal to minus kx, where k is the spring constant of the oscillator. So force constant, right? So here there is also, we consider the force constant, and this diatomic molecule just behave as a simple spring which obey Hooke's law. The potential energy, now the potential energy function under this potential, the nuclei vibrate, is parabolic. We know that for any oscillator, simple oscillator, the potential energy is changing or vary on both the side of the equilibrium position like a parabola. So we will draw later on the parabola of the potential energy. So the potential energy is given by following equations. VR general potential energy is given. VR is equal to 1 half K into bracket R minus RE whole square, where RE is the equilibrium point. About this point, molecule is vibrate and changes its displacement, and displacement r small r is the distance from the RE, that is vibrating distance or displacement of the oscillator. Consider K is the force constant. Unit of the force constant is Newton per meter, MKS unit, and CGS unit is the dyne per centimeter. So but vibration is only along one axis, that is x axis. So R minus RE, total displacement, is equal to x. Therefore potential energy VR is equal to 1 half kx square, right? Kx square. Now reduced mass of the diatomic molecule. The molecule is the same as the two atoms are there, R1, M1 and M2. So the reduced mass of the molecule mu is equal to M1 M2 upon M1 plus M2. So molecule behaves like a point mass object. So now to find out the vibrational energy, we have to establish a Schrodinger equation. Why Schrodinger equation? We had discussed that because our object or the oscillator behaves like a point mass object. So according to quantum mechanics, this particle point mass behaves like have a dual nature, that is wave and particle. So to find out the energy, one has to use the quantum mechanical Schrodinger equation. So general Schrodinger equation is given as del square psi r plus twice m upon h cut square into bracket E minus VR psi r is equal to 0. Now for harmonic oscillator, Schrodinger equation is one dimensional. Above equation is three dimensional, x, y and z direction, Cartesian coordinate system. So here our vibration is along only one axis, that is x axis. So we can write, and the potential energy VR equal to minus kx square, and mass m is equal to reduced mass. So Schrodinger equation for harmonic oscillator is given as del square psi plus twice mu upon h cut square into bracket E minus 1 half kx square psi x is equal to 0. Now our aim is to solve this equation to get the vibrational energy. For that, simplify this equation, right? So, and this is the second order differential equation. If we solve this equation, we have solution psi x and eigenvalue E, that is the vibrational energy. So now we will write one dimensional Schrodinger equation and simplify it. So del square psi x upon dx square plus 8 multiply by twice mu multiply by 8 mu square 8 pi square mu upon h cut square h square into the bracket. So we have del square psi x upon dx square plus 8 pi square mu E upon h square minus 4 pi square into k mu upon h square into x square whole bracket complete psi x equal to 0. Now let, for simplicity, we consider the constant or the energy as a alpha. So let alpha is equal to 8 pi square mu E upon h square and beta square is equal to pi square mu k upon h square, or the beta is equal to under root 4 pi square or the 2 pi into under root mu k upon h. So substitute alpha and beta in equation 4. We have d square psi x upon dx square plus into bracket alpha minus beta square x square into psi x equal to 0. To solve this equation, it should be dimension less form both the sides, because mathematically our quantity alpha, beta and x is a displacement, so it is in centimeter. So if you see the dimension of this equation, so when we solve this equation, if it is dimension involved in this equation, then we may be the wrong solution. Therefore, first of all, we convert this equation into the dimensionless form on both the sides. For that assume a small transformation. So that transformation can be write as xi is a function, or the xi is a function of x. So xi is equal to under root beta into x. So xi upon x is the under root beta. So xi is in centimeter, x is in centimeter, so centimeter divided by centimeter, and therefore beta becomes a dimensionless, right? So now we know the differential law, d upon dx is equal to d upon d xi into d xi upon dx. So but d xi upon dx equal to under root beta, right? So substitute in above, so we have d upon dx is equal to under root beta d upon d xi. Now again second time differentiate with respect to x above equation. So when we differentiate it, again we get under root beta into d by d xi. So whole form become d square upon dx square is equal to beta into d square upon d xi square. So we have here psi x is now our wave function. Psi x is equal to psi xi and d square psi x upon dx square is equal to beta into d square psi xi upon d xi square. So we convert x variable into the xi variable. So substitute this value, or the substitute this equation 6 in equation 5, and value of x is equal to 1 upon under root beta, and therefore x square is equal to xi square upon beta. So we have beta into d square psi xi is a function of xi upon d xi square plus alpha minus beta square upon beta xi square. કારણ કે સ્ક્વેર કરી દીધો એટલે અંડર રૂટ બીટાનો બીટા થઈ જશે. psi xi is equal to 0. Now divide by beta on both the sides. So we have d square psi xi upon d xi square plus alpha upon beta minus xi square bracket complete psi xi is equal to 0. Now let alpha upon beta both are energy, and ratio we have taken the ratio. So I'll say that constant is equal to lambda. So substitute this lambda in above equation. So d square psi xi upon d xi square plus lambda minus xi square psi xi is equal to 0. So this equation is the dimension Schrodinger equation for harmonic oscillator in dimensionless form. So now to solve this equation, we can solve this equation easily, but easy method is that apply the asymptotic behavior of the wave function. Mathematically we cannot ignore lambda, but here by quantum mechanical asymptotic behavior for the wave function we can ignore the lambda. How we can ignore the lambda? So consider as xi tends to infinity, wave function psi xi must tends to 0, and if xi tends to infinity, then alpha upon beta is equal to lambda tends to 0. Why? Lambda is very small than xi, so we can ignore the lambda here. And if we ignoring the lambda, then we have the simple Schrodinger equation d square xi psi is a function of xi upon d xi square minus xi square. Psi is a function of xi is equal to 0. This is the equation number 8. Now above equation is the second order equation of simple harmonic oscillator at solve, and the solution of above equation can be, so this is the simple, so solution of above equation you can assume psi xi is equal to sin xi, a sin xi or the a cos xi, and also and therefore there cannot be a two solution, so combined general solution of this equation may be the psi xi is equal to e raised to plus or minus xi square upon 2, and if we multiply by any constant, normalization constant, psi xi is equal to c e raised to minus xi square by 2 is the complete solution. But the plus or minus solution, mathematically solution may be the plus or minus, both are allowed, but in our case wave function tends to be a 0 as xi tends to 0, so allowed solution in our case is the psi xi is equal to c into e raised to minus xi square by 2. So equation solution of equation of simple harmonic oscillator equation we obtain. So now here C is a normalization constant, but we want to, this is the solution of equation 8, but here we want a solution of equation d square psi xi upon d xi square plus lambda minus xi square bracket complete psi is equal to 0. So we cannot ignore the lambda, so if we are not ignoring the lambda, then we will assume the solution of equation 10, right, like this: psi xi is equal to c into u is a function of xi into e raised to minus xi square by 2. If this equation 11 is the solution of equation 10, then it must satisfy the equation 10, right? So we will substitute this equation and find out the what should be the u xi, right? So now is above equation is the solution of equation 10, then it should be satisfy equation 10. So substitute equation 11 in equation 10. So differentiate equation 11, differentiate with respect to xi. First derivation is d xi. Here apply the differentiation law for multiplication, right? So you must know, you may be the you are knowing the differential law for multiplication factor, that is d upon dx f1 f2, then f1 into d f2 upon dx plus f2 into d f1 upon dx. So according to this law, consider the c is a constant, so u xi is a f1 function and e raised to minus xi square by 2 is the f2 function. So apply the law and we will have the differentiation with respect to xi on both the side is d xi upon d xi, d psi upon d xi is equal to c constant, take it out common, so into bracket u dash, first derivation of u is the u dash and second function remains as it is, minus derivation of second function, that is e raised to minus xi square by 2 as it is into minus 2 xi 2 will cancel, so we have the minus xi u xi into e raised to minus xi square by 2. Now again differentiate with respect to xi on both the sides. So c will be common out. Now first term, that is u dash into e raised to minus xi square by 2, derivation of first term is the u double dash xi. Again apply same law, u double dash xi into e raised to minus xi square by 2 minus xi u dash into e raised to minus xi square by 2. Now derivation of second function. For that, here there is a 3 functions are there, right? So take the first xi is a one function f1, and u xi e raised to minus xi square by 2 is the second function. So first xi remains as it is, and derivation of u xi e raised to minus xi square by 2 is shown in the bracket, right? So now second function, derivation of second function, that is the function remains same, and derivation of psi is a 1. So here we represent here. Now multiply by psi inside, right? So we have the c taken out common into u double dash minus 2 xi, simplify, u xi u dash minus xi square u dash e raised to minus xi square minus xi into u xi into e raised to minus xi square by 2. This is the equation 12. Now substitute this equation 11 and equation 12 in equation 10. This is the equation 11. So at 11 and 12, we know the equation 11 is the wave function we assume, and 12 is the second differentiation of assumed function. So both substitute in equation 10 we have, and simplify it. C e raised to minus xi square by 2 take common out. So remaining term in the bracket, xi square minus xi square plus xi square will cancel out. U function will be take common out. So we have the d square u by d xi square minus 2 xi d u by d xi minus into bracket lambda minus 1 u xi is equal to 0. This is the equation 13, right? So and if you see the equation 13 and compare in the mathematical differential equation, so it can be compared with the Hermite differential equation, right? There is a some constant in the Hermite differential equation. If we take that constant in this equation 13, then both equation become same. So this is, therefore this is called the associated Hermite differential equation for harmonic oscillator. Now actual Hermite differential equation can be given as, suppose y is a function of x, right? So Hermite differential equation can be written as y is a hn x, d square y upon dx square minus 2x dy by dx plus 2v, where v is equal to constant. You can take the v instead of v n, right? But in our book we have taken the v for vibrational constant, vibrational quantum number. So plus 2v yx equal to 0, where v is equal to can be taken as 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, integer. So an equation of this Hermite differential equation is the Hermite polynomial, which is a definite form of the polynomial known as the Hermite polynomial. So solution of equation, above equation, Hermite differential equation, is the Hermite polynomial, and that is hv is a function of psi, right? So that is the and therefore uh, both the equation are same. Our associated differential equation and the Hermite differential equation both are same. So if we take the solution of our equation, right, u xi is equal to h v xi provided 2v is equal to lambda minus 1. So one has to assume only lambda 2v is equal to lambda minus 1, then solution of complete solution of our Hermite oscillator is the Hermite differential equation. So we in the next lecture we will solve it and obtain the wave energy and the wave number equation. Thank you.